everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, episode 50. Can you believe it that the only show where two idiots talk about the wrestling world for 50 gosh darn episodes? And boy, howdy, it doesn't even feel like 50 for me. I'm your host, Ryan Neitzey. With me, as always, is the incomparable Scotty Edwards. I think incomparable is a compliment. I don't quite remember. Scotty, how you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, it's 50. That's kind of crazy. Especially since I think I forgot until you just started this episode. Because it's just another number at the end of the day. Because we'll do 51 next week, 52, 53. We have a lot to talk about today. So instead of me rambling on, because me, might have overslept and has a time limit, we're just gonna get to it.
Look, you have the unenviable task of being the lead voice of the Joshi world for American audiences. You stumbled into not stumbled. You worked hard to get to that position, and what that means is you stay awake to watch wrestling at 2-3 in the morning, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, times are not in my favor. No. It's okay, but we're here. We're watching. Yeah. We have a lot to talk about. I'm really excited. We have a lot to talk about, but we also kind of don't if you think about it. So it's weird.
I think we
have a lot of topics, but none of it's like a lot.
Yeah,
well, except for Vinnie Mac, but like that's just continued.
Yeah,
it's just the same thing. It's just worse.
Yeah, it just got worse. But of course, we'll get to all that. Episode 50 today. Our 1 year is actually coming up on August 7th, so we're a couple of weeks away from the 1 year anniversary.
See, we'll celebrate with that episode.
Yeah.
We'll do a year celebration with how are we gonna celebrate? Couldn't tell you.
That Scotty be well slept for that episode.
Oh, not only will I be well slept, I will have no idea what we're gonna do to make it special, but we're gonna try.
Maybe we do a 3-hour episode for that one. We go nuts.
Well, that would be so less special. We've done that multiple times.
Yeah, but on purpose. But on purpose this time.
That's true. We'll just talk about
Ric Flair's last wrestling match, Battle of the Belts 3.
Probably. You're not even here. Are you? Is that the weekend you're not here?
No,
you're here.
I'm here. I'm here for it.
That's good. That's good. That's a busy one.
Yeah, G1 middle of G1 Climax. I don't know. Middle 5-star. I don't know.
There's a lot going on. It's just a matter of like, is it important enough? We'll figure it out.
Preview Impact Emergence.
We'll talk about Ric Flair's last match because I think that's when we'll be. That's when we would review it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's then. Now's now, and now we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about Vince McMahon and the new news that came out from the Wall Street Journal. We're going to talk about Stardom MidSummer Champions. We're going to preview GCW Settlement Series because I think it's funny. We're going to kind of do like a short little preview. We haven't really talked about it since the schedules have come out. A little bit of the G1 Climax, Noah Destination, which is a show on Saturday. And if we have time for it, Noah Destination. If we have time for it as well, we'll talk about Tokyo Joshi Pro as well. But some news items to get to start our show. The Sasha Banks Naomi story continues to unfold as it was reported that Sasha Banks and Naomi have been, this is reported from PW Insider, I should say, that while there has been no official indication they have been released, PWInsider.com can confirm that both Sasha Banks and Naomi were removed from WWE's internal roster over the last 24 hours. We've heard rumblings Banks may be doing some signings outside of WWE this fall as well, but again, no official confirmation. So this is the internal roster thing. It's not like saying, oh, they've been released. It's nothing official from WWE. They're not commenting on this, seemingly. The internal roster thing has always been like I've seen like Sean Ross Sapp talking about it where like, oh, Lacey Evans is listed on Raw. And no, now she's listed on SmackDown. Oh, she's listed as a heel. And they tend to be true to what is following. So you take that as what is will. Take with that as much as you want to. Additionally, Sasha Banks and Naomi also got or at least Sasha Banks, her profile picture for Peacock was also removed. If you had a Sasha Banks profile picture, you no longer have it on Peacock.
You no longer have a profile picture.
Yeah, it just got defaulted. And yeah, and and then Naomi. Oh, and then both of them on Twitter, changed on social media handles, changed it from WWE superstar to professional wrestler. And Naomi Instagrammed out seemingly some potential sub not sub tweets if it's Instagram, some posts, sub posts. That sounds weird. So with the additional drama surrounding Sasha Banks and Naomi, Scotty, any thoughts?
I just want this to end. I'm so like every time something comes out, like I don't care. Just tell me that they're gone already. Like just tell
Yeah.
me that they're gone. I don't know why we have to be so secretive about it. It's just it's so annoying. I want to get to the point where everyone's excited. Like, okay, now, and I guess everyone has been at this point, but like your excitement for where Sasha Banks might end up and now Naomi, it can be legitimate instead of just like hopeful, because that's all it ever sounds like is very hopeful. Me included, I do it all the time, but it's just I can't fully invest until we just have the news or we just know for sure. Like them being removed in every single way except for an official confirmation it's annoying because it's still WWE works in mysterious ways, and I understand they got rid of all that, but they could so easily click something and all of that be back. So
Which
just
is very
remember
true.
that. Like I don't think these two go back. I think it's too far gone to let that happen. But until it happens, it's just like, all right, well, wake me up when something that we wanted to happen happens.
Yeah, I think I agree. Is that I think that they can easily these are all things that can easily be changed and brought back, and all this stuff can easily be adjusted. To that point, I would have to wonder if WWE is still trying to maybe keep them. Whether or not they've been officially released, I don't know. No one knows. But
Yeah.
maybe that's a point of like WWE is trying to release them or trying to keep them. The fact that they've been removed does start pointing to, oh no, they actually might have been released. They actually might be started doing something. There's also the idea of like WWE's purposely not saying anything because there's going to be potential prospects for both of these wrestlers, especially
Right.
with 90 days being roughly late August, depending on when you kind of like put at like when they might have been officially released, either the day they dropped the belts, either the Raj Giri tweet, definitely today. We're talking anywhere between like I don't know. Let's just say two events. I don't know, anywhere between like All Out and Arthur Ashe. Just we'll just say anywhere between those two. So I think WWE is purposely being vague on it, and I don't blame them for
Right.
being vague on it. I don't know. I guess what's frustrating really is that WWE is being purposely vague on it, which is a good business move, but it's also like, well, then you kind of understand how important of a loss Sasha Banks is to your entire product. It's like, man, maybe, I don't know, maybe you should have done a better job of making her want to stay. I don't know. Maybe you should have done a better job of making her happy if you are being this much of a butt about this. But again, it's also, they walked out and WWE wants to be a butt. And WWE has I guess, bigger fish to fry at the moment anyway, so just drop this, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit of a shit or get off the pot situation with Sasha Banks and Naomi. I want to see them gone. I want to see them out. I want to see them thrive in other places.
Three.
For
I want to see them wrestle. I think that's pretty easy. I want to see the two wrestlers wrestle.
yeah, at this point, and Sasha Banks easily. I think you if you're Tony Khan, you roll out the red carpet, you roll out the Brinks truck, you give her a contract. Sasha Banks is also gonna probably want to wrestle in Japan. Easily want to wrestle in Japan. Naomi, I think you sign her as well. Why not? She's a good talent. She's got experience. She's got a fan base. She's pretty good. Um, you know,
Pretty good.
she's pretty good. You sign her, but then she can also. If Tony Khan doesn't want to do that, Impact's also a good spot. There's other places that will still be good for her. Naomi, not as much as an international star as Sasha Banks, I think, but I think she's still a good national star, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
you still get her. You still get her. I mean, Naomi's still like a multi-time women's champion, I guess, but I say I guess because I think she had the title once for like a week, another title for like a month or two, and then she got injured.
it glowed.
So it is what it is.
It had the glow.
Trinity Glow. Is that be your name?
Jesus.
Trinity. You just do Trinity Fatu. I don't know. I don't remember what her name was before being married, but you can do Trinity Fatu or just Trinity.
Probably just Trinity.
That'd be pretty good.
Can't think of anyone named Trinity currently in wrestling. So
yeah, and then she can come out wearing all black leather, tiny ass sunglasses, and and her hair all the way back, and she comes out and does like this, and as she dodges bullets.
Yeah, sure. No, cool. Sure. You sell it to her, okay? You let me know how she feels about that.
Speaking about selling things to you, there was one company in England that tried to sell things to you. They didn't do a good job. They didn't do a good job, and the show got canceled. We did a whole preview last week about World Wrestling Entertainment Series, about their debut show that would have happened last Saturday.
God damn it.
We wasted our time knowing that the show was probably going to get canceled, and guess what? It got canceled. I'm trying to see where there was a quote, I believe. Dear fans and followers, unfortunately, we'll have to cancel the event scheduled for this Saturday. We're deeply disappointed in the news. Our team worked so hard on this event day in and day out for the fans to come up with a different type of wrestling and believe that we still be able to show that in the near future. We do also want to say that our talent that was scheduled have been paid in full, and that Nia Jax was paid her deposit as well. Well, she changed her mind and did not want to show up and wrestle anymore. A little bit of Barry, why not?
Sure.
After a bunch of people claiming false advertising and saying that they were being blaming the talent and all this other crap, and saying they weren't paying people properly, there was one report saying that they also only sold 350 tickets. It is with a dear shame that we must say, for the time being, adieu to Wrestling Entertainment Series UK. Scotty, are you surprised?
No. I don't think I could be less surprised, unfortunately. I think we should just scrap it up, act like this isn't happening anymore, and move on. This is it's not happening. The fun that we had, these past couple months, I was thinking that some, show that's full of WWE budget cuts come together and put on I don't even know what to call it. I can't say a super show because it wasn't really that exciting. To put on a show that had championship belts and people that you've heard of. It's not happening anymore. And I just want to say, like, if you think back to that original card, and how much that second card dramatically changed, I feel like you should have known, right? Like, and I think most people had this idea, so I don't think it was like everyone was like, "Oh my god, this show's gonna be great." But we did get closer this time. We got really close to this one, but yeah, let's just not give them any attention until they actually run a show. I think that's the best way to run with new companies.
Yeah.
Unless it's like owned by a billionaire that is going to have the elite with him. Not the authors of Pain and Alistair Overeem and Moose. Even though Moose doesn't even count. He wasn't even there for the first show. So.
he wasn't even booked for the first show.
Or the Titan. And
Yeah.
Nia Jax and Lana. Like I think there's a difference here. I think there's a difference here. I think we should pump the brakes anytime that the bookers of the show that we're about to watch are two guys that barely made it in WWE.
Where do you think Alistair Overeem is going to go next? Do you think he's an Impact?
No,
Mm.
he's such a WES guy, you know. He doesn't want to if he's going to have his first wrestling match, he doesn't want to give it away anywhere else.
He has brand loyalty to the extreme.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he might be the only one at this point, but yeah, yeah. I look forward to the next main event being Alistair Overeem versus. Never mind.
No way, Jose.
Yeah,
Going for,
probably.
going for the
I was gonna go
pre-show.
like really dark and scary, but I decided against it. I was like, who would actually get booked by these people? I was like,
Oh,
oh,
oh, I see what you're
Olive,
saying.
Olive speaking out. Got it.
They were in
There you
England.
go.
They were in England.
Exactly. That was my point.
Anyways, let's go from sad, disappointing, not unexpected news to sad, disappointing, not unexpected news. A report came out on Friday for the Wall Street Journal, saying that WB's Vince McMahon has paid a total of $12 million to 4 women to quiet sexual misconduct allegations. To be clear, this isn't like the 2 that they reported on, or the couple that they reported on before, plus 4 more. As I understand, this is a running total of what Wall Street Journal has given out. The additional ones have been about, content warning, I guess, by the way. McMahon allegedly paid out $7.5 million to a former wrestler who claimed that McMahon coerced her into giving him oral sex, demoted her, and then decided not to renew her contract in 2005 after she resisted further sexual encounters with him, per the Journal report. The wrestler and her lawyer reportedly negotiated a non-disclosure agreement with Vince in 2018. This, of course, is coming on top of the paralegal, where he was given out a secret $3 million payout. He's still in control of creative. There was also a new report saying that on top of that, there is also a 2006 agreement. A former WWE manager was paid $1 million to stay silent about McMahon initiating a sexual relationship with her. There's also another thing about John Laurinaitis, about an alleged $1.5 million non-disclosure agreement with an employee claiming sexual misconduct in 2012. So, it's more stuff, but it's worse stuff, because, the idea was before, or at least the claim was before, maybe on WWE's end or someone's end, the belief was that the paralegal relationship was consensual. These additional findings and reportings by Wall Street Journal are non-consensual relationships, or maybe were consensual that turned into non-consensual, what have you, who knows. So it's worse. This is way worse, folks. Vince McMahon, $12 million, $7.5 million. Jesus Christ, man, that is so much money for just a blowjob. That's way too much money, man. It's bad. There's no argument. If you're the board, there's no argument at this point. It's like, this stuff has already been known. I mean, the Washington State Journal hasn't even discussed, there's even more stuff. This is sadly still tips of the iceberg with this guy and John Laurinaitis, it appears. And I'm sure there are other people maybe in a company. I have no idea. I don't know anything. Just allegedly. But Wall Street Journal is coming and finding more and more things. Netflix cut their documentary about Vince McMahon, so that's gone. Who the heck knows what else is gone out of the pipeline? But Scotty, a lot to unravel here. Thoughts on the new news regarding Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis?
I remember a few weeks ago when I said, he won't be in trouble. Now he is. Yeah, now he is. Now he I don't know how you come back from this. Now again, it's Vince McMahon, so I guess I can never be too sure, but there should be no way he comes back from this. He should not be getting his chairman position anymore. He should not be getting his CEO position. He shouldn't even be on creative. He should lose it all. It's it's just unacceptable. And it was unacceptable beforehand. But one case opposed to, was this four? Like
Four,
four?
four, and then if you want to add the fifth
Right.
case about Rita
Right.
Chatterin,
So
which old case, but
I
back up in the light.
it's still terrible. Right. It's still awful. Yeah, I think if he's not out, that just looks really, really. It already looks really, really bad on WWE, obviously, but it just somehow makes it even worse, right? And I just don't know how people. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand how people in that company just don't make the decision immediately. I understand he stepped down for the time being, but I feel like you don't need that. I understand you need to do investigation and whatnot, but the more these things come out, the more it's like, all right, come on, you got to make a decision. We shouldn't be going another 5 months with him just sitting there and creative, minding his own business and yelling what he did as reported. Like he needs to be gone.
Yeah, I
It's
believe
just disrespectful to your talent. It's disrespectful to your company. But again, it's Vince McMahon. So will he be gone? I really don't know, but he should be.
Yeah. Scotty, you're getting a little glitchy there, but we're still able to hear you. But do you mind just signing out and signing back into Zoom real quick? Yeah, so Scotty's coming out. Yeah, no, completely agree with what Scotty's talking about. Just the idea that it's there's going to be more reporting. There's going to be more stories that come out, whether it be Wall Street Journal, whether it be, I think the other one was like New York Magazine, I think it was. There's going to be more reporting. Scotty's completely right. This is still the tip of the iceberg. There is going to be more stuff, and as more and more things come out, yeah, do your investigations, I guess. But at a certain point, if you're at 4, 5, you start getting up there 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At a certain point, you're the board. You're like, there is no more investigating that we need to do, right? There's no way PR wise this looks good. You gotta cut your losses. And the problem, then, the dumb logic of the board, of people outside of WB, of like the general public, is that they believe that WWE is only successful because of Vince McMahon, and no one else can run the company, and that if you want to sell the company, Vince still has to be a part of it. If you want to do all these stuff, they want to do all these things to make sure Vince is still around, because that they believe that is the reason WB has succeeded for so many decades. And in some part, there's truth in there. I don't blame them. There's truth in those statements. But at the same time, it's ridiculous thinking he's the only goddamn person in the entire world that can run the company. Right? That's ridiculous. And you get more and more of these speaking out Me Too stories. The worse it's gonna be. Get him out of there. It's not, the company is gonna, like, there. I mean, hasn't happened yet. That's frustrating in a very boys like way. The company hasn't yet like dropped and started losing money. Like the stuff is coming out, but like the company hasn't really taken a hit yet. And so until that happens, I don't necessarily know if Vince is gonna get booted out. Real shame. Real shame,
Well,
Scotty.
it's just, it's not, this isn't just a WWE thing. This isn't just a Vince McMahon thing, but it does help his case that we've seen Vince McMahon get out of a pickle many times before. But this is a corporate America type thing. Like, this happens.
Yeah.
a lot. And unfortunately, it happens way too much that we have to, hear about these, crazy stories. And people shouldn't be using their power to make people uncomfortable and do stuff they don't want to do. But again, it doesn't surprise you that this is something Vince McMahon did. And there are more, and this is the part for me. There are more and more stories that we don't know about yet that have happened. It's just the truth. That's how he works. Maybe it isn't in hush money in this way, but it's hush money in other ways, right? So for me, get him out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You should not be sitting here talking about it, thinking about it. He should be gone.
Yeah.
Gone. He shouldn't even be around creative. You should have plans, truthfully, if you are so worried about it, to the moment he's gone, you have people to do creative, you have people to do this, you have people to do that, because there shouldn't be any thought that he's around by the end of the summer, let alone the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And you almost want to put like, I don't know. I just had the thought. I don't know how much this is true, but you almost want to put like, you start putting his like booking into question, right? You always put his booking as questions. Vince McMahon, it's not, his booking hasn't been the greatest in a while. You just sort of put in the booking, you're like, how's he booking? How's he, when all these things were happening, how is he booking female wrestlers? Remember the divas, all that stuff. When
Exactly.
all these reports and everything was
So
happening.
they said a wrestler, right? Got hushed.
Yeah, the $7.5 million was a wrestler, and I don't want to like, we're not going to out that wrestler.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's
No.
been internet.
I was just double checking.
There's internet sleuths that have belief of who that person might be.
Well, not my
not my department
position to say something about them, whoever it may be.
Yeah,
So.
that's their thing.
And I'm not tossing names around either. How am I supposed to know for sure?
Yeah, exactly, and that's the other thing, is that I don't know for certain, so I'm not going to bring up the name unless that person might come forward. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah, then that's a topic of conversation, but it's not really a conversation. It's just like, and again, this is hush money. This isn't.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason this money was paid. But I would like to get to a point where we don't have to talk about Vince McMahon being a scumbag anymore, and we could just act like he's not here anymore. But it's just the beginning. So,
yeah,
as I said last time we did this, proved to be the truth. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, that's sadly true. Well, Vince McMahon, Jesus Christ, it's just like that was Sean Ross Sapp report. Also, that was just like, yeah, that Friday he just came out on TV, and right before it, he was just like, fuck it, and just I'm gonna do whatever I want. There's another report by Fightful that was like, yeah, when SmackDown was happening, everyone was like, business as usual. No, we're just going to ignore these reports. It's just upsetting and frustrating. Well, I say, if you're out there and you got a story, then definitely go say it, because they're just going to ignore the reports. Well, they can't ignore dozens of reports, I'm not saying that's that many. Allegedly, I'm not saying that many. Let's move on. Let's move on to move on to brighter, sunnier topics. And there's none sunnier topics than going over to Stardom and talking about MidSummer Champions. This was a really good show, I believe.
Very newsworthy show.
Very newsworthy show as well. Stardom MidSummer Champions happen in Tokyo, Japan. Attendance of 1,200 people. Look at that. We got a full card in front of us. Scotty, what did you think of the whole show, by the way?
It was kind of a lot like you'd expect it to be. It was the top heavy card. They didn't have a big undercard necessarily, but they made matches memorable in their own respectable way. You had a good future Stardom Championship match once again that had some wonderful near falls. You had a big tag in the middle that is obviously a very newsworthy match. You had a very good high speed match where I thought Momo Kogo had the performance of her career, and then of course you had the two final matches, which I am very vocal about on Twitter so far of how good I thought those were. So overall, just another. We're getting used to this. Like it's just another delivery for Stardom. You expect it at this point. It's not like I'm gonna. They're gonna have to do a lot for me to like come on here and be like that was either they're gonna have to do a lot for me to come on here and say that was awful, or they're gonna have to do a lot for me to come on here and say like that was amazing because I'm just kind of like used to it by now. like
Yeah.
they've done so well that I don't expect anything less.
Yeah, which is a weird position to be in as a company. Like, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
every match is, like you said, it was really the top of the card thing. But even in the undercard, it was like, that was good. That was a pretty good tag
yeah,
match. Uh,
yeah,
so it's things like that where it's just like at minimum, it's just like things are good, which is like good. That's what you want. You
yeah.
always want
No,
these
it's
things.
definitely a good thing to do. It's just like so weird that like I've come on here. I'm like, yeah, I mean,
Another good
business as
show.
usual. Fantastic show. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd also agree with you that Stardom it was like at that thing where it's like their star range for Stardom is like 3 to like I don't know 4.5 maybe like top end. But I feel like they've been that in a while. I haven't seen for me personally. I haven't gotten to that upper echelon for Stardom this year yet. Maybe I'm missing out, but
I know some people that feel that way too.
yeah,
Um, it's like they're there but not fully there, which is interesting. But I guess it depends on investment too, which we'll get to in the main event.
that's true.
Which my investment was probably a lot more than most regular people watching, so it just made the match better. I was watching it live. Obviously, watching it live is very different.
Hmm.
I think
That's
that,
true.
but yeah, let's talk about this card.
Yes. We got Future of Stardom title match. Hanan again rocking it by defeating Owaka Tsukiyama. So I thought this was another good match. I thought Waka looked good. I'm not, I think Waka is still developing. So I think for what it was here, I thought it was she was serviceable. What I did like about Waka is that they structured the match in the way that they did a lot of. Waka had a lot of like big moves where almost theme of the match was her doing big moves constantly, but just close to the ropes, and
Mhm.
which allowed Hanan to get out of it. Um, there was also another big move that just happened. That was very believable pinfall
Yeah,
attempt where Hanan kicked out at like 2.9. So they're definitely like showcasing that like Waka's like a potential threat, but she
right.
just doesn't have the knowledge or skill or experience
Hmm.
to get there. But
Yeah,
Hanan does, and Hanan was able to retain her title.
yeah. I've talked to people about Waka past couple weeks because like they all wanted her to win. I'm like, I don't really care. Because and this isn't because I don't care, but I think once she wins, she loses a lot of the interest that she's been carrying. I watched it with Lady C. A lot of people wanted to see Lady C win. She won. Now I don't think I could care less about Lady C. Um, and once Waka wins, it's like, oh, okay, cool. And the moment will be great, but
Mhm.
see how exciting this match was because you thought she might win, and not only might she win, but she might get her first win and win a title. Like it enhanced the match in so many different ways. And I think Hana's just so good already. Like I was thinking about this after this match. I was like, she's about to do this 12 times in the 5-star against the best crop she's ever faced,
Yeah.
right? Like she's doing these matches, which are really good, really entertaining for like 8 minutes against the bottom of Stardom. Now she's gonna go do it with the top of Stardom. She's gonna do this with Julia. She's gonna do this with Saya Kawatani. She's gonna do this with Momo Watanabe, Hazuki. Like this is what she's about to do. So I'm really excited for that too. The match was good. Some fantastic near falls that you really just don't get unless Waka has the record she does. Because it just adds that drama. Because like if she was, my Sakurai and she had those near falls, it's like, oh, it's in a regular title match. But there was just something added there that made this a lot of fun. And good thing she didn't win, by the way. She should not have won. I'm happy Hanan still has the title. I wouldn't have Hanan lose the title anytime soon. She should have the title through the 5-star because there's no reason to have her lose it.
Yeah, I could see them maybe having her keep the title through the 5-star, maybe beat the record, and then dropping the title and then moving right up the card.
Well, she didn't beat the record.
Oh, she already
Unless
has?
you mean the day's record?
Whatever record.
She already beat the defense.
I thought she still had one more, but maybe I I miscounted.
She has that. This was her. I think this was actually just to continue it. Let's see. The future of Stardom title. Well, she's not going to beat the days because Tommy had it for 409 days. She just didn't have it. She didn't defend it nearly as much. Hanan's already in third for longest reign with the title, so that's cool.
Ooh, very good. Okay, then great. Then I think either way, I think maybe she drops it right before the 5-star. I don't know if there's shows right before the 5-star. There probably is a couple. But I think at the very least, she goes into the 5-star, then she maybe drops the title, and that way she can just bump up the card. Because the experience that Hanan is going to get out of the 5-star is going to be unbelievable for her, and she's going to improve, I think, a lot. Tag match: Ami Sourei and Mirai defeat the team of Utami Hayashishida and Miyu Amasaki. Miyu, what a weekend for Miyu, right? Between this show, between New Blood.
The draw, as I like to call her. She is the draw for those New Blood shows. New Blood, I think, was sold out well in advance. Main event's her second one. I thought this tag was fun. I didn't get to see this live because the TJPW show was finishing during this match. So this was the only one I didn't get to see live. But I liked it. I think I like Utami and Miyu together like a lot. So that's good. Mirai and Ami Sourei, who I had some words for after their title match the weekend prior. I thought they worked well here. It wasn't long, so that made the match just an easy watch, as people like to say. People like to use that comment, easy watch, but this was legitimately an easy watch.
Yeah, I would like to see that God's Eye tag team of Ami Sourei and Mirai maybe challenge for tag titles. I think that would be pretty good. And yeah, Miyu and Utami, very interesting. I like the beginning of the match with Miyu just running up and beating up people, and Utami's like, "What the? Hold on,
whoa, hey now."
And then walking over was like, "All right, now let's do this."
I think Utami's now 1-8-1 on pay-per-view this year.
Whew.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think she's only lost one singles match, but nonetheless, it's still bad. It's still very bad comparably to last year.
That's fair. I like them. I like the team a lot, and I do think also I think we get Ami and Mirai maybe go for a tag titles. I think that would be very good.
We don't have to really talk about the next match. I can laugh at Saida real quick. It's okay.
Well, the next match was Fukigen Death, Rina Ruaka and Saki Kashima versus Suzuki Kagama, Mayu Iwatani, and Saida, with Oedo Tai getting the win, with I believe it was Rina pinning Saida. We learned. Go ahead.
We learned quickly why Rina won, but
yes, that's
still shocking.
That's what I was gonna say.
Still shocking because Saida's the one that's in the 5-star Grand Prix.
My girl.
She's in the 5-star Grand Prix. Stars had pretty much their A team, like fighting against Oedo Tai's D team, and they lost clean. So it's a choice.
It's a choice.
But it's a choice that is just gonna happen. I feel bad for Saida fans. That's all.
I was dejected. When I saw that. Now, granted, every single Oedo Tai member had to do like their finisher on Saida so that she can get pinned, right? But you gotta protect the gorilla.
Protected her, having her get absolutely wrecked.
And then having Rina pick up the fall, but I was upset about that, but then, like you said, it made sense in the next match, which was
as long as you make it make sense.
Yes, which it is good because the next match was a high-speed title match. It immediately follows up. We don't have to think about it too much. It immediately follows it up because the next match was Azumi versus Momo Kogo, with Azumi beating Momo. After the match, like we said, Rina came out and challenged Azme for the high speed. So, what do you think of Azme versus Momo? Kogo.
Oh, this absolutely exceeded expectations. I kept them low going into this match because Momo is someone that you never really you never have seen the full potential. She obviously has it.
Hmm.
The moves she does 619. Uh, she's very athletic in what she does, but you never saw the full potential. And she went out there and they changed the match pacing, which was very smart. They didn't go full like Azumi high speed where she just runs around the ring like a maniac. No, no, no. They slowed her down. They made Kogo look very smart in a lot of the ways that she stopped her, and they convinced me that she could have won. They had some great near falls. She she just looked. I thought she looked great in there. The match of her career, not even a question.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
Kogo, of course, not Azumi. I don't think it reached the levels of the high speed matches that Azumi's had with Saruga or Starlight Kid or anything. But if you told me you had it a step below that, I think that's okay. I probably have 2 steps below that because that's just I had those really high. But this was a lot of fun. Continues Azumi's great high speed title reign. And Momo Kogo should be here to stay in the high speed division. I think she offers a very different wrestler because she does high speed, but not to the high speed that you're used to. She does high speed in that she's quick on reversals, she's quick with her moves, but she's not necessarily running around like a maniac. So I like that part of it a lot.
Oh, 100%. I think I completely agree with you. I have someone that's on the show has talked about how I think Momo has certainly potential. I think she sells very well. Um, I like her move set. I think it's she just needs reps. Really, is what I think she needs. And putting her against Azame, I think, is a good choice. They did a good job of slowing down the pace for Momo. But ultimately, I think it ended up being a pretty good match. Was it Azume's greatest match? No, like you said, no. But it was Kogo's best match that I've ever seen, and I think that she still got potential. I think this match was sort of her current ceiling, but I think she has the potential to expand that ceiling with just years of more reps, and I think that's just honestly what she needs. So I think it was a really good showing, and I think she showed what her potential is moving forward. So yeah, good for her. And Osme did a good job leading her through it too, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I was actually waiting to see if she could lead you through that.
Hmm.
Not that I didn't think she could, but could she slow it down to the point where she was going to make that happen? And she absolutely did. So, bravo to both of them.
Next up was a 10-woman tag team elimination match where it was the Cosmic Angels, Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, Unagi Sayaka, Hikari Shimizu, and Saki defeated the team of Donna Del Mundo, Julia, Himeka, Maika, Mai Sakurai, and Natsupoi. The match itself, pretty good. A lot of fun stuff in there. The classic elimination, so you get a lot of that
Yeah,
knocking people over the top
it
rope.
wasn't like the artist match.
No. But the big talking point of this match is we have the final 3 women in the match was Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Julia. They all get knocked over the top rope. They're on the apron. Julia has Tam Nakano ready to go for a German suplex on the ring apron. Natsupoi winds up the super kick. Tam Nakano dodges out of the way. Natsupoi stalls the super kick, thinks about it, then kicks Julia, her teammate, her leader, in the jaw. Picks up Julia. Really, first off, soaks in what she's done. Then she picks up Julia. Tam Nakano is very confused. Tam Nakano hits the super kick on Julia. Natsupoi hits Julia with the German suplex. Julia goes out. Then Natsupoi jumps down, and Tam Nakano gets the win. And after the match, Natsupoi joins Cosmic Angels, and DDM are they're not angry necessarily, but they're very sad about it.
Yeah. I mean, it.
How?
I don't really care if people don't believe me, but at the point where it was Julia and Natsupoi versus Tam, I said to myself, sitting here in my chair watching, I was like, "Oh, Natsupoi's going to turn," and I said that because I watched this a few months ago with Momo and Azumi versus Starlight Kid in that Captain's Falls match. Now, obviously, this didn't have those stakes,
Yeah.
but it did have the stakes that this was the final match in their series, the Tam Nakano Natsupoi. And I just sat there. I was like, there is no way that this match ends, because I don't know why. I thought those two being against Tam, with Julia's history against Tam,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there is no way this match ends like people wanted to. And it didn't, which wasn't shocking. It did not. It it wasn't as a surprise to me because I connected dots then.
Yeah.
But had I not, I mean, I just would have been like, what the frick? I'm not really going to talk about the match. Match was whatever. But the change for Natsupoi is an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good or bad yet. It can be good if the plan, which I think it is to give her the Cosmic Angels, like, as she will be the leader when Tam moves on, because now she is the clearest option now that she is an actual Cosmic Angel, an actual roster member, over, say, an Unagi, who I don't think has the leader material. She's obviously very popular, and she can, she'll probably eventually win one of those top two titles, but she's not a leader. Natsupoi is younger as well. Natsupoi is she's all around, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, great. It's also, they get to have one more run together, even though they never really had runs together. They get to tag together. They get to do all this. It's weird. It's weird, and I don't know if it's good yet. I don't know if it's good yet because I'm more so focused on the DDM side. They've went from the faction to a faction very quickly. They cared a lot more when Natsupoi left than when Shuri left. I'll tell you that, though.
Yeah, I was about to say.
They did not give
what is Julia doing over that leadership position? They need a new
I
leader
know.
because they keep dropping people like flies.
Now they're down to Julia, Micah, Hameka, Tekla, Mai Sakurai. Still a good group. It's very weird now. Now we're gonna sit here and we're gonna wait. And well, Cosmic Angels has what, 8, 9 people, like
Something like that.
It's insanity the amount of people they got. I think they're 8 now. So it's really just a wait and see, because I think Natsupoi can do everything to make it the best. But we really don't know. What mattered to me the most is Julia gets to fight Natsupoi in the 5-star. So nice knowing you. Nice knowing you, Natsupoi.
that match just became like a must see kind of main event like match. I don't know if it's going to be the main event, but
it should be now.
Might be now. Interesting that you thought that you said that Tam Nakano might move on from Cosmic Angels. I obviously
no, I think she's going to retire.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I interpreted
Tam's on the final road.
Interesting. I interpreted. I don't. Me having less knowledge than you. I interpreted it as I could see that being you bring in Natsupoi. Natsupoi can sort of take on that Wonder of Stardom role now, be a challenger in that position, while you move up Tam Nakano into the World of Stardom title position, and she can do some challenges. Yeah. I think that's probably what's going to be.
Oh, I think that's definitely true for the time being.
And then eventually we'll get a Tam Nakano moving on. And then because then you can also have Natsupoi, Unagi, Mina fight for the trios titles, Artists of Stardom titles. You can do all that stuff, and have Tam move on into the World of Stardom title world. Tam versus Shuri, which I'm sure will be good. Which I'm sure would be good.
Yeah, no, I heard you.
I heard you. I don't know if you can see it on the Zoom or if you saw it on the stream. My fiance is in literally the background behind me. I looked over at the Zoom and saw her just turn around, give me the deadliest of glares, and then go back to working on her project.
I just sat here and couldn't react because of what you just said.
That brings us to the Wonder of Stardom title match. Saya Kamatani versus Starlight Kid. I was able to watch this match right before we started, Scotty. And boy, howdy, was this match good. Saya Kamatani Starlight Kid, I thought was exactly on the tin, exactly met my expectations. I thought the beginning was a little slow, but it was ultimately what they were showing was Starlight Kid was a force to be reckoned with. There might be a height differential, but Starlight Kid is gonna not only has the strikes and the capabilities to bring down Saya Kamatani and to her level, to Starlight Kid's height level, but use chairs and use the Oedo Tai-ness to bring her that faction. But then once we got past that, once we got past that, it got into the back and forthness and just got really, really good. Spanish flies, Phoenix splashes from Saya Kamatani. Lovely stuff. That Spanish fly, awful landing. Just awful landing.
Yeah, the point was she was supposed to land on her feet, which was like the most impossible idea.
Yeah.
But I do like that she technically did it because obviously she had the leg injury.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, that's why it messed up. She
Yep.
couldn't land on her feet because her leg was messed up. It was a very easy mistake that they had worked into the match by just kind of by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought the match was fantastic. I thought it it really showcases how good Starlight Kid is now that she has clearly added an El Desperado element to her game now. And I'm not just talking about numero dos. I'm talking about the attacking of someone's leg
Yeah.
and how good she was at it as the match went on. Some wicked dragon screws and just putting so much focus because she did add the numero dos. And by the way, love that Azumi and Starlight Kid have the numero uno and the numero dos as their new submission finishers. Just a little thing that's really, really cool. But I love this because I thought Saya sold her leg fantastic. Like it was one of the best jobs she's done at selling something.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she was going to use it to do this Phoenix Splash. It doesn't really bother me. It's not like she couldn't, but the way she sold it throughout the match was great. I thought this match was great. Not that I really expected anything less. I did expect it to be the match of the weekend, and at least for me, it wasn't. But that's it all comes down to how much investment you have into a match, and I think this match in the end was definitely hurt a little bit by the Kyrie stuff that we have talked about in the past.
Yeah.
That hurt it obviously for drama. Don't get me wrong, they still got me to believe at the end. They did get me to bite into it, but not to the full extent that I was, say, in the main event, because I was like, well, she's still not going to win. But had that not been the case, I think this match could have reached an even higher of high. And I think they would have probably done a more higher of high, truthfully, even though I thought the finish was really, really good.
Are they I mean, they're both in the same block for a 5-star.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be shocked if Kid won.
yeah, I could see Kid winning, and then we have another challenge between the two of them. And like you said, I think we all sort of expected maybe there to be more, but we also got to remember they are in the same block. Starlight Kid's probably going to win. They'll have another title match, and maybe that's the one Starlight Kid wins. They also, funny enough, have a Grim Reaper match. Or sorry, not a Grim Reaper match, a casket match with a Grim Reaper.
Yes.
So they got a lot of various things coming up. Plus, you got now you have more challengers with Saya Kamatani against Saki coming up. It looks like what was it? Lady C also came up at some point, or Nane. Well, I'm reading what.
Oh yeah, let's go. I'll go over this.
Yeah,
So
please.
Saki officially challenges Saya to a match.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the July 24th defense for her, which is the day the MidSummer Champions in Nagoya show. That show's loaded up already, looking really good. So they did that, and then the Nai Takahashi walks out, which is a big deal. Obviously, first World of Stardom champion, still legend for Stardom. She walks out there. She announces, by the way, I was right. She announces that she's the tag team partner for Kyrie, which obviously we had teased. And then the Lady C's like, yeah, I'll be your partner. And understandably, I'll say is that people were upset that they didn't do Utami. because of just obvious reasons of like, why wouldn't you do it, Tommy? Why wouldn't you want the super strong partner? Um, and they would have had to do the match a different day. So the match is officially set for July 30th, the first day of the Grand Prix. Um, because we needed more matches on there that matter.
I was about to say.
Uh, so that's set for the first day of the Grand Prix, and if Tommy is wrestling that day, Lady C obviously isn't in it, and Saya Kamatani wasn't wrestling that day. So it works out. They have a packed schedule. And yes, while it would have been great to have Tommy on there, they clearly want to have someone that gets pinned. Lady C will be that, but very cool to see Nanai and Kyrie would be cool to watch together.
Mhm.
And we are one step closer to Kyrie getting that title match. If I had to guess, she will get the title match at the Dolphins Arena pay-per-view in the middle of the 5-star. That would be probably the best time to do it because we're just kind of waiting around until they do that match. So I'm happy we're on to the next step finally.
Yeah. And finally, the main event, it was one World of Stardom title match. It was Shuri versus Momo Watanabe, 20 minutes and 16 seconds, with Shuri getting the win and defending her title successfully.
Yeah, I got to talk about this first. I
only watched half of this match, so I have not seen the full thing.
Damn.
Please go for
it.
Okay.
This match was everything I could have asked for. And I've seen people say, "Oh, it was a great match, but it wasn't that level," or "It was a great match and it some people thought it was over or underwhelming," and I completely disagree with that. But that's what wrestling is all about. We can disagree, we can agree. That's fine. It was so good. And I obviously have more investment in it than probably most people because I obviously want that Momo win. And the way that they created the match, they went away from the Shuri style again. They do like a little grappling early on, but they go away from that style and it works every time. They go to the Momo style of a match and it's just vicious. Momo and Shuri are exchanging kicks upon kicks and big moves at the end, and they fully convince you that Momo is going to win this. She puts the wrench in her boot. She gets the punt kick on Shuri. Near fall, 2 count. By the way, the crowd this was not good for the show. I think that probably did upset some people. But it doesn't affect me because I'm so used to no crowds by now that it doesn't really bother me whatsoever. So they had a great near fall there. She hits 3 peach sunrises. That was a great near fall. I really thought they had it there. Then she goes for the peach bomb, and Shuri turns around, kind of goes crazy. She hits her Ryuin, doesn't get it there, hits her punt, and then forces Momo to tap out with the stretch muffler, much like she did Mayu. So Shuri just knows how to take out my favorites. I appreciate that. Same exact way. I was like, damn, that was cruel. But I thought this match was phenomenal. I thought it was everything I could have asked for. It didn't reach the classic that they had last year, but I didn't expect it to reach that because I thought that match was just unworldly good. But this will still be in the conversation for me at the end of the year. It's not the match of the year, but I think it deserves contention. I think if you watched it like I did with all the investment that I had and the care that I had, and you watch the viciousness and the callbacks that they had and just the confidence that they both had to go out there and do what they did, then maybe you're on board with me. If you're not, I don't really care. That's what wrestling's all about. We're not all supposed to agree on every single match, but I thought it was just absolutely tremendous. It fit exactly what I hoped for. I've seen some people also say it's probably their favorite Stardom match of the year. It doesn't even get that from me. I don't think it's my favorite Stardom match of the year, but I also think Stardom's had matches that are better, right? I think the only 2 I have above it, truthfully, are Julia and Mayu and Kid versus Izumi. I think those are probably the only 2 that I have above it. And again, personal preference. That's what wrestling's all about.
Yeah.
But when you were invested as I was and they did what they did, it was so easy for me to say this was just phenomenal.
Yeah, great stuff. I'm excited to watch the second half of this match.
Yeah, I recommend watch the second half. The second half is great.
Oh yeah, baby. Well, that was Stardom MidSummer Champions, of course. Like
Oh,
you
and
said,
after, by the way, Tam challenged.
I read that as well. Tam
Yeah.
Challenge, so we'll get that at MidSummer Champions in Nagoya.
Yep.
5 stars right around the corner. We got Stardom and
Wouldn't
Showcase. We got a bunch of stuff.
be 100% shocked if Tam won.
Right before the 5-star. I'll have to look at the block to see how that.
Well, you mostly just need someone that is going to lose to Julia, and Tam fits that role very well.
Yeah, that might work too, especially like a retribution sort of angle too. But yeah, that's exciting. Let's move on to our next topic. I'm gonna go for the world record here on previewing a card. Our next topic is the GCW Settlement Series Part 1. This is.
I don't even know what this card is.
I'll get to it. Don't look it up. I'll get to it.
I'm not going to.
Okay. So this is, of course, after the lawsuit between GCW and IWTV. They were had to put on, I think it was like 12 shows. They're calling it the Settlement Series that GCW is putting on, and this will be airing on IWTV. Scotty, this show is happening at 1 p.m. today, July 10th. It is happening in an hour and 20 minutes, and let me read you the card. All right, that was the card.
What?
There is no card announced for the show.
And when is it?
It is happening at time of recording, an hour and 20 minutes from now.
Okay.
There are wrestlers announced for the show. Those wrestlers include Akira, Axton Ray, Brandon Kirk, Charles Mason, Charlie Tiger, Dylan McKay, Nick Wayne, Steve Scott, Yoya, Grim Reaper, Janai Kai, Alec Price, and Marcus Mathers. That is everyone that has been announced for the card at time of recording. Again, the show happens at time of recording an hour and 20 minutes from now.
Sure. Okay.
That's the world record. It's episode 50. Want to do something. Getting a world record is that. Unbelievable. GCW, baby. Let's talk about something that actually has a card. G1 Climax is happening. The first show is happening this Saturday for G1 Climax. And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the first show and then talk about maybe the last show for the G1 Climax. And maybe we can get some predictions together.
Yeah, I'll give you my predictions. I thought about this last night, actually, as I was sitting there, like, what are these blocks again?
Exactly. So the first show's got a bunch of tag matches. We got Tom Lawler and Royce Isaacs teaming up. So West Coast Wrecking Crew coming in Japan. Jonah and Bad Dude Tito joining up. So Bad Dude Tito joining up. So we got Bad Dude Tito over there. I saw David Finlay and Tama Tonga teaming up together in a trios match. That's interesting to me. Lance Archer is teaming up with Suzuki Gun in a multi-man, so that's fun. But the opening, there's only 4 G1 Climax matches. It's 1 from each block. Don't forget, it's 4 blocks here. So we got
day 2 is like the worst day I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sure. So we're starting off with C block. It's Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Aaron Hanare. I bet you can guess who can win that one. Actually, I
probably can't.
I was about to say, actually, there is a chance Aaron Hanare would win because Hiroshi Tanahashi, I believe, might let him win. D block tournament match: Will Ospreay versus El Phantasmo. That one, I would say Will Ospreay, but if Aaron Hanare doesn't beat Tanahashi, then Phantasmo might beat Ospreay. We got B block tournament match: Sonata versus Jay White. So that's fun. And then we got an A block tournament match: Kazuchika Okada versus Jeff Cobb. So that should be really good, if not great.
A good first day of matches.
Yeah, I think that's a solid matches, and there's some tag matches in there that I'm interested in seeing.
There's
just
negative % chance I see those tag.
You don't want to see Bad Dude Tita take it on with Toru Yano.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't want to see anything less. Actually,
But that's the opening of the show. That's happening this upcoming Saturday. But the G1 Climax will be happening all the rest of July and halfway through August, where the finals is happening August 6th. Well, not the finals is happening, but the final card, block card, is happening August 16th. It is 4 blocks, so it's harder to do maybe like predictions of what matters. But if it's anything like usual, then we have maybe an idea of, we can maybe try to guesstimate what the main event and what the match matters the most to this entire tournament. So this is in no particular order because they don't do any particular order. So let's try to see if we can guess what the main event will be. Our cards announced. We have 2 matches per block, so 8 match card here. Kazuchika Okada versus Lance Archer. Jonah versus Bad Luck Fale. That is going to be maybe deciding winners of the A block. Maybe. I don't know.
one of them will.
I imagine Okada.
Yeah, A block's not, to me, A block's very much like it's not even a conversation.
Yeah. B block, we got Ishii versus Sonata and Tamatonga versus Jay White. The Tamatonga Jay White one is very interesting just in terms of history.
Like a spoiler potentially.
Yeah, I could see a spoiler. When you say spoiler,
I already have my block choices, but I'm gonna let you finish the card first.
When you say spoiler, who are you thinking as the
like I can see Tamatonga spoil Jay White, whether even it's just a double eliminate, double count out.
Yeah, which would then maybe
if they don't want to give him a title match, which I would be okay with if I didn't have to see Jay White versus Tamatonga.
Which could maybe bring Sonata or Ishii into the, be a block winner. Yeah. I don't know if they'll have Ishii be a block winner. I could see him.
Okay, I'll say it. I have Sonata winning B block. So
interesting. I could also see Ishii maybe winning the B block and not win the whole thing just because
they can't stop themselves from a Okada Sonata match. They need it. They need it.
The G1. You're right.
Yeah, come on now. They need it. Right. They're gonna get it.
I was just gonna say my argument for Ishii is his last year, give him the thing, but I think the thing will be doing well in the block and then losing ultimately. To Sonata, so I guess that's fine. I do like the idea of it being a spoiler for Tamatonga, but I could, all in all though, I could also see Jay White just winning the whole block there. C block, we have Hiroki Goto versus Evil, and we have Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr. If you want to look at spoiler as well, there's a little spoiler action there, but I could also see Naito.
I like that they're playing back the match that took Naito out last year as the final match of this year's block. Mm-hmm. I think Naito wins his block. So,
yeah, this also just reminded me that Evil and Naito will have a match at some point during the G1.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
hope Evil wins the whole thing.
Yeah, baby. Oh, that's good. True. That's good. True. It's Hiroki Goto. Evil could easily win, and then it's up to Zack Sabre Jr. to maybe knock out Naito.
That could be it because I think Evil could finish in second in a block in the most stacked block. So,
well, he should be winning the whole thing.
That's correct. He should be. He should be winning the whole thing and facing Jay White in one of the most interesting matches New Japan could put on, but they won't do that. So
they're scared. And the D block, we have Shingo Takagi and El Phantasmo against one another, and we have Will Ospreay versus Juice Robinson against one another.
All things considered, we just said that they are giving away so much with this card. Like they're telling you these are the people that will be in contention. Yeah. Like we talked about the 5-star schedule last week, and I was like, they really left it open. Like it can be anyone. This is like, oh no, who's gonna be in contention. I don't know. This is the only block I'm not sure about, and it's obviously just down to Ospreay and Shingo.
Yeah.
I could see them want to do Shingo Naito or I could see them want to avoid it too. So
I think what's interesting about this lineup is that I think in some cases for blocks, you can probably predict who's going to be the overall winner. But I think for the most part, it's you can figure out who not in which order, but who might be 1 and 2. Shingo will, Naito, Evil, maybe Naito Zach, but Naito Evil. And then like I
Yeah.
said, there's also other cases where it's like maybe 3 people, maybe all 4 people. I don't know. Sonata, Tamataga, Ishii, Sonata, who the hell knows?
Right.
So it's very
I'm
interesting.
going. Okay, here's my 4 blocks. Hold it. Everyone can hold it to me as the weeks go on. That's fine.
All right.
I'm gonna go
A block.
Okada,
A block winner. Yep.
Sonata, which is the one I feel way more comfortable with Sonata than I'm gonna feel about these last 2. Naito and they want Osprey in there? Do they not? Do they want Osprey in there? Do they not?
It should also be said is that they have not announced which block winner will be facing which block winner in the semifinals.
It could be random.
So you're thinking Okada versus Sonata, naturally.
I mean, come on. You know they want it.
And then you're thinking Naito versus somebody. Either Shingo, either Osprey. Shingo Naito's nice, but it would be interfaction.
Shingo's never beaten Osprey, right?
I
Since they
don't
became
know.
heavyweights. Oh no, they beat. I think he beat him once in the G1.
It would be inner faction, or it could be Osprey versus Naito, where Naito gets Osprey elbows Naito in the back of the head so hard that his eye pops out.
Oh, that's potential. Yeah, there's potential there. And then he can just hold it instead of like doing this. He can just hold it.
God. Oh God!
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Shingo.
So we got Shingo versus Naito. There's also on the table. There's also Zack Sabre Jr. versus Osprey. That's also on the table.
Well, I think Naito's winning
the
whole thing.
The whole thing.
So
I
yeah.
see. I'm so unsure. I feel
but
like
honestly, I don't know.
I feel like Naito might be pulling the old Tanahashi and having a couple fake injuries, but I also have no idea because this man just walks broken. So I don't know anymore.
Right.
This man could he be the best worker of all time, or he could be legit. Who the hell?
Well, he's definitely a little broken.
Well, all wrestlers are a little broken for sure. But yeah, so that is going to
He doesn't have knees.
Definitely doesn't have knees at the very least. But yeah, that's coming up for G1 Climax. So I'm intrigued to see what happens there. I'm for the most part the same with you. I think Okada's winning. Okada versus White is a possibility. I'll say Okada White, and then I'll say Okada White, and I'll say Osprey Naito, and I'll say we'll get Osprey Okada. Why not?
Interesting.
Let's do that.
I can see that too. Yeah, that's like my other final in my head.
Yeah.
If Naito's not winning.
Yeah.
Even though I have Shingo going in, I don't know.
Who's the?
I guess it's good that I don't know for sure though.
Yeah, because I like Okada versus. Well, and what's interesting is what I just picked is Okada versus White. Then Okada wins, which means he can challenge Jay White. But then it would be Jay White versus Osprey. In my prediction, it would be Jay White versus Osprey. I never pick the whoever beats the champion to be the winner. I always do that as like, a future challenge. So, but then then Okada's not in the world title match at Wrestle Kingdom, but also it's Wrestle Kingdom, and nowadays it's just like who gives a shit. Sort of the G1 winner. So who the heck knows?
Yeah. I'm just I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know, folks. Stop pestering Scotty. He doesn't know.
No.
Well, speaking of things about I don't know, Noah, I don't know, is having a show this Saturday as well. It's called Destination. And
Unknown.
Honestly, what I do know is that this card not too shabby, but it is Noah, so I get it. But I'm just gonna quickly go through it with you, Scotty, right before you gotta head out here. So we got a bunch of multi-man matches. We got I'm just gonna point out some fun stuff. Extreme Tigers coming back in a multi-man. In a 10-person tag match. Stallion Rogers, aka Kurt Stallion, and Anthony Green are showing up in Noah. With teaming up with son of Dr. Wagner Jr., Rene Dupree, and Simon Gotch. So that's fun. All right. Um, we got a nice little stinger, Paris Del Mal junior tag. We got Ninja Mac returning in a singles match versus Dante Leone.
Yeah, you got some of the most random fuckers on this show. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a random fucker match, but it is a match that helped put Ninja Mac on the map in America. So it is very intriguing that they're bringing
in
up.
America.
It's very intriguing to me that
Maybe
they're
I'll
bringing
put
in
Dante
Dante.
Leone on the map in Japan.
Maybe it will. We have a hardcore tag match.
This match I'm way too excited about.
I'm pretty hype. We got Super Crazy and Nosawa Rongai versus Masato Tanaka and Rob Van Dam.
One of a kind. I'm so happy Tanaka and RVD are teaming together.
I don't know how it's going to shape out. We got a lot of old guys in this match, but
it could be awful, but I don't care.
It could be awful, but I'm excited because it could also just be like, like almost like a lucha thing where it's just like a bunch of people throwing chairs at each other's heads.
We got a former ECW world champion. Two of them.
I was about to say, I think we have two
on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
In 2022 in Japan
against Super Crazy
and Nosawa
and the Booker.
Oh my god, it's gonna be ridiculous. You know, do you know that Masato Tanaka held the ECW World Heavyweight Championship for 6 days?
Ah, interesting. Who did he lose it to?
Yeah. Mike Awesome.
All right. He
beat Mike Awesome for it.
That sounds right.
And he defended against Kintaro Kanemaru.
Interesting.
So there's your history lesson of the day. But this match should be stupid.
Is there any way the Booker Nosawa Rongai is going to beat Rob Van Dam and Masato Tanaka?
Nah, bro. We're on the road to the Rob Van Dam GHC heavyweight championship win. Come on now. You laugh, but I'm only half kidding.
Kojima versus Fujita, and then the winner faces Rob Van Dam and loses. Oh man. Anyways, speaking of,
give him the red one, the red belt that they got,
the national title.
Yeah, because I hate that Funaki has it. So literally anything better is. It was RVD looked good in his match back. He's also not dealing with injuries anymore. He said so. That's good.
Well, he's about to have a hardcore tag team title match, so we'll see how that goes. Speaking about Funaki and Fujita, 6-person tag match. We got Go Shiozaki, Segura, and Fujita on one side versus Funaki, Nakajima, and Manabu Soya on another. Hard hidden match affair is what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's a good match because it's a big show, so like they'll all go all out. It's just like it's so sad though to think about like how they're just in a tag on this big show.
Who Nakajima and Go?
There's no, and again, I wish they could just take Funaki, get the title off of him, so like one of those guys on the other. Like I would love if Fujita had it, Segura had it, Shiozaki had it, because it would add another big match to these shows. Funaki having it is just piss poor.
Yeah. I would, the only old man that I respect and truly want to have any sort of title in this promotion is Takeshi Segura, because he's great. He's great. He's phenomenal. Speaking about old man, I won my cards. It's the Pro Wrestling Love Forever 1, the final countdown. This is the first of 5 singles matches for the great Keiji Muto's retirement tour, where he will be facing Kaito Kiyomiya, Scotty. The biggest question of this entire card.
Main event to me, by the way. This is my main event. This is my match, not yours. This is my main event right here.
The biggest
Muto's back, baby.
The biggest question of the entire year is Muto going to pin Kiyomiya, or will he finally put Kiyomiya over? It's such a difficult question to ask.
I couldn't be more unsure. I couldn't be more unsure. I have no clue.
Because it's not just the fact of it's Kiyomiya versus Muto. It's also, I think, going to exemplify what Muto's retirement tour is going to look like, right? If Muto pins Kiyomiya, all right, Muto's winning all 5 of his last matches.
I hope Muto stacks Kiyomiya, beats him in 5 seconds.
I hope Muto does a flaming kick to Kiyomiya, steal Kano's move, and does it to Kiyomiya. Flaming shining wizard. Let's do it.
You know what's sad is that Kojima has been like a really good. Him and Kaito have like worked up a really good relationship.
Yeah,
and it kind of gives a hint of like, oh, maybe Kojima will drop it to Kaito. It would be a perfect story. But this match, man.
If Kiyomiya wins, it's a good challenge for the title.
This is important. I need to say that. I feel like if you booked it, it's so that Kaito gets the win. But Muto could decide on the day of. He's like, you know what? That's not going to work for me, brother.
It's phenomenal. It's like
this is going to be so much fun to watch. I can't. Like, it's unhealthy that I can't wait to watch this.
I'm so stoked for this match. Cannot wait. I'm
gonna give it 5 stars if Muto wins in 10 minutes or less.
If I was a betting man, I would walk out of the casino on the match. I'd be like, I don't know. I guess I put my I mean, I don't even know who would be the odds-on favorite in this one. It feels like it's 50-50.
It is as 50-50 as a match can be.
Or at least I think it's 50-50. If Muto might be thinking
maybe
it's 100,
maybe it's 99.1%. Muto's going into the day of, you know what? I thought about it. Yeah, I'm still winning, bitch.
GHC Tag Championship match. Michael Elgin, Masa Kiyomiya defending their titles against Hideki Suzuki and Timothy Thatcher.
Give me some new champs. I like Thatcher and Noah.
Me too. I think he's a good fit. I think he's a good fit for what Noah's doing.
Good main event here, though.
Or the style of Noah.
It's not no. We still have the stupid junior stuff.
Junior heavyweight title match. Hayata versus Seki Yoshioka. All right. I don't really care for the junior division.
I won't watch it.
All.
I don't watch Hayata. I don't watch Hayata matches.
I do not care about the junior division.
I only care when Dragon Gate's there.
That's true. But
they're actually doing a Dragon Gate trios title match after this show. I think the week after.
Maybe.
Yamato's gonna be in Noah for the first time ever.
Baby, yeah. I'll care about the junior division when Ninja Mac wins the title.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
Which it will happen. I'll bet money on that one. And then our main event.
RVD's winning the world title.
Of course. I'll bet money on this match being pretty good. GHC heavyweight title match. Satoshi Kojima defending his title against Kano.
You know, Kano's a great first defense for Kojima because Kojima's going to beat him. Yeah. Anyone that gets hope that Kano's going to win, I'm sorry. But Kojima's going to beat him, but I think it should be a great match.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kojima's awesome, so I don't really care that he's still champion. I think he should hold it forever. I know, I'm just kidding. But I do enjoy Kojima. I think Kojima should lose it to Kaito in the end. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think they can have a really, really, really good match. I think it could definitely be better than the Shiozaki match, which I thought was a little under expectations. Kano's great. Kojima's great. They've actually built it up really well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think Kojima comes from a similar school of Muto and all that stuff, just in terms of respect. But I think what Kojima brings differently is at least the matches will be really good compared to a Fujita or a Muto. So I'm excited for it. I'm certainly excited for it. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. It's a little short episode here, but we got all our topics in. A little rush.
How do we celebrate 50? We celebrated with a shortest episode.
Well, them's the breaks, folks, and we apologize for that.
That's the Scott E problem.
Scotty, and he's the problem, Marina Shafir style.
Please don't say that. How bad do you think I am?
He's sandbagging the podcast. Scotty, anything to plug?
You can follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter. my match of the week that we didn't talk about. Chihiro Hashimoto versus Veni from Sendai Girls, which was technically today, but I watched it last night. So, yeah, great match. One of the best Joshi matches of the year.
You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Neitzey.
I already know your match of the week. Just say it.
What is my match of the week?
Takeshita Mad King.
Yeah, that would be my highest rated match of the week. But I was trying to look at other matches and be like, who maybe I should give a different plug shout out to. There's Mirai versus Suzuki that could give a shout out to. But I'm going to go off the board, go crazy with it. Not even my highest rated match. I think it's like my third highest rated match.
Oh, God.
Alex Kane versus Davey Richards for the MLW National Openweight title match on this past week's episode of Fusion. Really good. Really good. It was exactly what you expect from developing suplex man Alex Kane and veteran Davey Richards.
Davey Richards won, didn't he?
No, they went to a time limit draw.
Oh.
So a 20-minute time limit draw. Well, the gimmick was that it was for the title, but if you can go to the time limit, then you would win like $10,000 or something.
I would have just. They should have just both sat there the entire time.
Well, Alex Kane, I think it's Alex Kane's money is what the thing.
No, they should not have just sat there the whole time.
Yeah. It was the Thrilla in Philly is what they were doing it for.
Thrilla in Manila.
It was pretty good.
In Vanilla.
It was pretty good.
I would hope so that your match of the week was at least pretty good.
I could have gone with the other match, which was Lindsay Dorado versus a real one.
All right. Well, that was a good show, everybody. That's how we celebrate our number 50. We'll have a bigger celebration for the 1 year. The 1 year anniversary show will be our big celebration. I feel like 1 year is more important than a 50th episode because 100 we'll celebrate too. But let's do 53. That'll be our celebration. 54.
I think it's 54. It's the August
55 because we've done 2 AEW reviews.
Yeah, we're a month away, so we have it's August 7th, so we 54. What it's gonna be.
Yeah, because we missed a week too, so it's 54. Yeah,
long
ago. Word, we'll celebrate. We don't know when we're recording next because Ryan has to do things.
Yeah, so I guess I'll say that. So for the next 2 weekends, I won't be available, and so we're Scotty and I are figuring it out. You can follow the show at CountOutPod. That's when we'll tweet out like the schedule updates for the next 2 weeks. Yep. Looking like maybe like Wednesday next week, Thursday maybe, and then maybe the Tuesday after that. We'll figure that out. If anything, that allows us to make sure we're all caught up on weekend shows and just reviewing weekend shows and stuff. Also, the things that are happening these 2 weekends are going to be G1 Climax beginning and
Stardom's big weekend.
Death Before Dishonor. Stardom starts. Yeah. Stardom has a Stardom Showcase. Terminus 3.
Preview Death Before Dishonor next week.
Previewing SummerSlam.
Fuck SummerSlam.
Ric Flair's last match.
We can preview the card.
Yeah,
the card's at least good. But yeah, well, until then, bye.
Bye, everybody.